You will record. Hey. Ah, fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am extremely sorry about the technical glitch that we have this morning or this afternoon. I am sharing, but we see that there's a little bit of a black line on top, which we try to get rid of. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to go away. I do hope that you can all at least see most of the presentation. So this is going to be very much interactive again, and I am going to ask you guys to please just come in and also chat. Olive is going to be my wing woman this afternoon. I'm quickly going to just open my camera just to say hello to you guys and just to see you. I hope you can see me. And yes, good afternoon. Welcome to Unit 5 of the drama section of this wonderful Limina course. I'm very excited to be with you. I'm so sorry about the black line that we have on top, but let's just go on. I will share this presentation with you in any case also so that you have the PowerPoint. I'm going to stop my video now, my camera, so that, you know, we have the best possible way of connecting with one another. So yes, we are here. We are busy with Unit 5. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you are feeling okay. It is nearing the end of the year, and here we are all very exhausted actually. But let's do this. As I said, my name is Alina Lundi. I have specialized as a drama teacher for many years, drama lecturer, and I work at the Western Cape Education Department with Olive, that you have met already, with her fantastic music presentation that she had, and of course with beautiful, wonderful Amay, who has also presented, you know, a session. So let's quickly look at the program for today. I want to cover quite a lot of things because there's such a lot to chat about. I would like to speak a little bit about the methodology, actually for all the arts. And I think it's very familiar to you, but I just want to reinforce that. And then I want to talk about the building of a drama lesson. I, of course, want to talk about warming up, which is so important. And then some drama elements, and my favorite thing in the world to talk about is dramatic tension. And I always find that when we speak about dramatic tension, we look at only one aspect of dramatic tension. And I want to explore many, many aspects about dramatic tension today. And then if there's time, we're going to talk a little bit about language development in drama, which is really, we are married to language, especially drama. So, and then we will close. So it's quite a lot that I want to talk about. I might just skip a little bit here and there. And then, yes, as I said, Olive is my wing woman. So Olive, welcome to the session. Olive and I work in the same office, at head office. And Olive, I just want to hear, is there any comments at the moment? Because I'm not even going to go into the comments now. I'm too scared that I make more black lines today. That needs to be addressed. Or can I go on, Olive?
Hello, Anina. Hi, everyone. I'm looking at the comments section, and everyone is just greeting Anina, so you can keep going.
Ah, brilliant. Thank you, Olive. So,
Okay.
Auguste Boal is one of my favorite theatre practitioners, and I would really like to talk a little bit about what he has said, because this is so profound. Theatre is a form of knowledge. It is. It's a mirror to life. It really shows us as we are as human beings, and we know that, and that's why drama is so important. It gives us knowledge of itself, and that goes to the purpose of drama. Drama is often there to ignite interest in something, or to educate, or to protest, or to celebrate, or just to entertain and let us have our hair down. But it can also be a means of transforming society. And we've seen that in the South African theatre history during apartheid with Black consciousness movement and the whole protest movement, protest theatre movement. And we saw that the arts and theatre in this case really transformed society. After World War I and II, theatre came in with absurd theatre and it showed us, epic theatre, it showed us where we are. It can transform society. But it also can help us build our future rather than waiting for it. And I thought, yes, it can look forward. It can help us see forward where we want to go. And that is what theatre is. And how amazing that we can teach this in our classes and to have that. So that is my little introduction. And here I am. My name is Anina Lunde. I'm a senior curriculum planner in the Western Cape Education Department. And yes, I am really so excited. I spend lots of my time in an office. Yes, we have many workshops, but when I can just connect with teachers, it's my best time, because teachers are the best people in the world, and teachers are the people we love to work with. So in the chat, it would just be so wonderful for me and for Olive if you could just share, maybe using a GIF or a little emoji or just anything. Just show us, how do you feel? I'm curious. I would love to have a cup of coffee now with you, sit across a table and really talk about drama. But obviously this is wonderful that we can, that we can speak across the airways, as it were. So yes, please do show how you feel. Olive, is there anyone who maybe says something at the moment? How are our colleagues? Are they exhausted? It's crazy. It's valedictory. It is concerts. It's a lot of stuff. What do you say, Olive? How do our teachers feel?
Sure, there are many emotions, Anina, at the moment.
I've just lost you, Olive. Are you there? It's a little bit quiet. Can you hear me, colleagues?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can. I think Olive is just quiet for a little bit. Olive, did you mute yourself by mistake or by chance?
Maybe she's
I think-
having some connectivity
Yeah,
issues.
maybe she is. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
move on. Thank you for
Hi.
sharing. Oh, are
There
you
she
back,
is.
Olive?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
hello, darling. Hello, darling.
Hello,
So
I'm back.
tell me a little bit about the emotions that our teachers feel.
There are quite a few, Anina. There's one with some crazy eyes. There's one completely shocked with smoke coming out of the head. There's a
Yes.
beautiful one with dancing, and then there's a pretzel that says all knots, just in knots, like a pretzel. And there's
love
one
that.
with like just a thumbs up. Others are just like twinkle stars in the eyes, ready for, tomorrow and the week ahead. So different kinds of emotions, Anina. It's mixed
Fantastic.
today.
Yes. And isn't that absolutely what we experience when we teach everyone, colleagues? We have children, 54 children, each with a life story in the class. And that is always, when I taught, it was always a little profound moment before I would start teaching. And I would say, everyone has a story, and there's a drama in every child, so let's move on and let's look at this video where we are just looking at the bones of drama. Olive, you will just let me know on WhatsApp if the sound is there, please.
Will
Let's
do.
get going. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for watching this little video. And I'm going to move on, but I just want to quickly reflect on that little video. It really picks up on everything that we are teaching in drama, and it's quite a mouthful, but a few of the things that I just want to reiterate is, first of all, why do we teach drama? And I don't know how you guys feel, and I'm going to ask you to please open your mics and share. You can just put up your hand and Olive will tell me. But I think for me, over the years, yes, I have worked with children who became actors and theatre practitioners and who work in film. But I saw the biggest purpose of drama over the years, all the time, was really to develop language skills, confidence. I have seen drama being a very powerful tool in helping children learning an additional language. And there are so many aspects to drama. You know, a child who would work with puppets would, that would help the child to be the limelight not so much on him or herself and really pop out, and the confidence growing. Children who can't work together in groups. I saw all of that happening in drama. So the why about drama, the why we teach, is extremely important. And I think I wanted to stand still a little bit today about that, because if we understand that, then a lot of things make sense, and why it is so extremely important. So yes, it is the 4 C's: the communication, the collaboration, the critical thinking, the creativity. But it really is that child who blossoms. So I would like to ask you, you can put up your hand, just unmute, just 1 or 2 little aspects that you have seen, that you have personally experienced, why drama is important. Just it's really just a quick one. If you could tell me, anyone who would like to come in, and just from your own experience, just a sentence or 2 to tell me what you think. Any hand up? Anyone who might want to say how they feel drama is important, any own experience that they want to share.
Hi, Anina. I'm just going to switch on
It's
my mic.
Amy. Hello, darling. Hi, Amy. Yes, I would love to hear what you say.
I have definitely seen how the learners are able to understand the content a lot more when they're actually able to embody it, and bring in whatever it is, the content they are learning, actually being able to use their bodies to become something completely different. And it takes them completely out of that shy cocoon, because all of a sudden they are not themselves in their body, but they are a piece of coal that has to be transported and created into electricity. So memory-wise, memory retention, it really confidence, and it's so much fun being able to step away from the books and the desks and being able to actually do something that is different. So,
Absolutely, Amy. I want to pick up on 2 things that you said. The first one is the embodiment. And it's not just through drama, but especially I have experienced where a child can really embody learning in another subject. I remember, we would do the water cycle, and becoming the clouds, becoming everything. If you go to the higher grades and you look at history, even grade 10, 11, 12 work, I have learned in the literature, they speak about a peak experience. And a peak experience is where all the senses are enabled or triggered, and the child literally lives it through the imagination. So we are in World War I, and we are under our desks and we listen to a soundtrack and we embody, hiding away and the bombs and everything. Then you really have a peak learning experience, and that is through drama and role play. So that's the first thing. And then, Amy, the second thing I want to pick up on what you say is the joy of teaching that and learning, that education, school must have joy. It must be a happy space. It is, yes, serious, and in the drama, there's a lot of joy that happens. So I think that is very important. I'm going to move on and then later on ask for more comments. So if your hand is up or if you want to share, I am going to definitely come back to you. I want to quickly talk about the methodology, because where I am, I often see that this does not happen or it's not understood. And I want to start with this old quote of the spiral. The path isn't a straight line of learning. The path of learning in drama, it's a spiral. You continually come back to things you thought you understood and you see deeper truths. I think just, if I can give a very simple example, all of you who have done drama and who have performed on stage, and I think it's a very same for all the other art forms, especially the performing arts. The more and more you rehearse, the deeper you go into the meaning of the text and the script. And you can't imagine that you never saw this or that aspect. And it's that repetition and repetition. But it's the same when we work in our methodology, in our lesson plan. We really work in a spiral. It's not linear. That is why you will see in the ATPs and in the CAPS document, we continuously do warm up and voice and breathing and resonance and all those aspects. And that really goes for all the other art forms. So we regularly revisit the same topics, but over the year with, and this is the magic word, increasing complexity in that rehearsal moment, in that repetition of going back to voice again, a new voice exercise, a different breathing exercise. We definitely go into more complexity. And then, of course, as we proceed from grade 1 to grade 12, we are going to look at the aspect of space in grade 1. Where am I in my drama, in my fictional space? But we are also going to look at that in grade 12, if we look at the element of space or time, but in a total different way. So we repeat it. It's a cyclical learning. We repeat, we return to it. It gives us increased depth, and very important, our prior knowledge is always a hook that we hook on. And I want to quickly just stand still and ask this question. And you don't have to answer it, colleagues, but I want you to think about it. Do you ever meet with the teacher in the lower grade by the end of the year to hear what type of child you are going to receive in say, for instance, in 2025? Do you have an opportunity to speak to the person who taught drama to the learner this year, and you are going to get this child in 2025 to hear where are the strong points, where are the strengths, the weaknesses, what could be covered, what could not be covered in the curriculum because we can't get through the curriculum. Where should you pick up? What is that child's prior knowledge? So in the chat, I would like you just to indicate, do you have meetings across grades? You can just say, yes, I have across grades. No, I don't. And I want you to start to think about that. If you are the only drama teacher in a school, it's easier because then you would know, I taught Susan in grade 7, or let's say grade 8, and I'm getting her again in grade 9. I know what I couldn't cover. I know where the problems are, the areas that need work. Do we have that opportunity? And that actually goes for all subjects. Because that's why we have so glaring gaps in our learners' education, because we never go back to that prior knowledge of where they are. And then, of course, this whole spiral is about reinforced understanding. Okay, so what does that mean when you work on a lesson? And again, nothing against textbooks, but what I found was often, especially if one is not trained in the arts, and I would have done the same if I had to teach maths, you grab this activity in the textbook and that one, but there's no logic. There's no development, incremental, step-by-step development from one little task to another to end into your big, big final presentation, performance, artwork. So it's very important that when you plan your lessons, that you say clean slate, and I'm going to climb the steps. And you've all seen that beautiful image of the ladder, you know, the ladder and its little spores that are very close to each other, the little steps, and then the steps that are far removed. The steps must be very close to each other. So, for instance, and I'm actually preparing you now for Unit 6, because what I'm discussing now is really what is happening in Unit 6 that you are going to prepare in the coming week. In your first week, if you are going to look at, I'm going to just use playmaking, the topic playmaking, which is very improvisational, you know, where you're creating a drama out of nothing. You don't work with a script. You are going to improvise. Your first thing is the stimulus. And I'm going to stop after this because I want to hear wonderful examples of stimulus. Now, Professor Anne Bamford is the most incredible arts educationist. She is from Australia. She's an OBE. She works in England. If you can Google Professor Anne Bamford, she's an absolute role model in arts education. And she presented at a conference that we had, and she said, you cannot start a lesson without curiosity. Curiosity, curiosity, curiosity. The child must be curious. What is going to happen? What is this about? Then you've hooked that child, and something happens in the brain. And she explained to us that it isn't just an airy-fairy idea. It is a neurological thing. Something in the brain happens where certain of the neurons are triggered. The child becomes emotionally engaged. Learning happens. So, colleagues, your very opening first lesson where you provide the stimulus for that drama that you're going to create is all important. And it could be a folktale, it could be a poem, it could be a video, it could be an interesting story that you are telling, it could be a song, it could be a newspaper article, it could be anything. I used an example of stimulus on cards with themes, for instance, matric farewell gone wrong, or I am crowned as Miss South Africa, or it's Wednesday today, you know what that means. Curious little words, places, spaces, locations on cards. It's an old trick, and they would pull that and they will brainstorm a storyline. So that happens in week 1, and that W questions that we all know, who, what, where, when, those are our drama elements, and we create a storyline using what is the story, who are the characters, where is it taking place, when, who is my audience, what is my purpose. And then we create a story. Going back to every child is a story. So we create a story. Isn't that wonderful? And kids in groups, 5, 7 in a group, they will now create a story and they will sit in a circle and they will tell the story. So I would start, there was this party that I went to, and then when I went into the room, there was this whatever, and the next child goes on, and the next child goes on, and the next, and that is very important because they have developed the story, but everyone must have ownership. I cannot teach a drama lesson, colleagues, without my story circle, where we sit on our bums or in our desks, turn to each other, and everyone tells the story, and anyone can stop mid-sentence, and then it's the next one who must go on. It's a beautiful focusing exercise. It's a listening exercise. I must listen. I know the story. We worked it out together. And I must listen what Olive is saying. Where's she going to stop? Because I must be able to go on. So Can you see what's happening there? Language ability, it's speaking, it's listening. It is a beautiful activity. And in that, I make sure that everyone has ownership. Also, the little one who was not so much into the development of the story. Oops. Okay. And then we go to week 3, where we create our tableaus. And this is up to grade 12. So whether you are in grade 4 or you are teaching up to grade 12, tableaus is a beautiful way to anchor your story. So with the little ones, I always say just 3 tableaus, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Now, if you look at the story structure that ends where you have a climax and you've got the denouement at the end, you might want to use each of those aspects of your structure, your story structure, to create a tableau. Tableau is nothing else but a frozen picture where they must, through their bodies like statues, show what is the beginning and then the middle and then the end. And that is a beautiful way of eradicating all that nonsense of now I'm driving to the hairdresser. We don't want to see that. We just want to see the most essential stuff. And then we go into character development and look at the character's use of weight, space, movement, for instance, hot seat exercise, final rehearsal, and by week 6, we're ready to perform. So that is very much in preparation for your work. I thought I'm going to cheat a little bit and help you guys look at what you are doing for next week. But that is very much how one would look at the development. You can also look at it in a different way, where one looks at a cyclical way. Okay, so we've talked enough. I think it's time for a little bit of movement. But Olive, I would like you to just help me chair this session. Colleagues, that moment of sparking curiosity, that stimulus that you give your learners when you've got to create a drama, for instance, about love or about some historic event or social issues or whatever, you can't just say to them, let's create a drama. You must go into groups and make a story about love. You have to, you've got to stimulate them. And I know from the past 3-4 sessions that we had, the teachers in this group is absolutely incredible. So ideas in the chat or hands up. Don't you want to share with us some of your ideas for stimulus? Anyone who would like to share, whether you use music or you do a lacquer game or you do a relaxation exercise, any ideas? You can unmute yourself and just tell us about it, or you can put it in the chat.
Hi, it's Angelique. Sometimes it's
hello, how are you?
good, thanks, and you.
Wonderful. Hello,
Sometimes
Angelique, nothing here.
as what we do is we change classes so the kids stay in one class. So they really sit a long, long time. So what I like to do is when I come in, they're waiting for me because they don't know what they can what's going to happen. Am I going to come in with lots of bags? Am I going to come in tired? Am I going to jump in the class? So every day I try and make it exciting for them to wait for me and what is going to happen today. So just in the way that you greet them can be like, okay, today this is going to be a nice class.
Oh, Angelique, I love that. And please stay on the air. Angelique, do you also find that the teacher in role, you know, Dorothy Heathcott, who wrote a lot about drama and education, spoke a lot about the teacher in role, that is so important. What do you think about that, Angelique? And that you are kind of always active with your learners?
Yes, definitely, definitely. I actually teach grade 5, 6, and 7, and then for 1 year, I went back. I'm a junior and pre-primary teacher by trade, so they put me at grade 5, 6, and 7. So 1 year I had media kids again, the little grade 1s, and they still come to me and ask, why don't we have media? Because then I waited for them, and they would come in, and I would kind of just like it was no talking, nothing. They came in, they sat down. As soon as they were seated, they were looking at me because they didn't know how I was going to greet them, what was going to happen. Are we going to do a story? Are we going to do? jumping. So
Oh,
and then they would get up and we jump today and hop like a penguin and have a little dance. So
mhm.
every time they see me in the class, it's so important that you do it with them. No matter how
Yes.
stupid you look, they don't think you look stupid.
Oh, Angelique, that is so, and that I love what you are saying. You do it with them. It's not really that you demonstrate for them, but you experience it with them. And you know that speaks a lot about that video that I showed right at the beginning, to create a safe space where they feel they can express, but they express with you and they can express differently. So if you come into class and say, "Oh, we are also cold. Oh, do you feel cold?" and you are cold and they are cold differently, it's not, because often teachers think they demonstrate for learners, but you are enacting alongside them, isn't it? So thank you, Angelique, for that. I love what you said. You know, I remember, a teacher would come in role often, even when I was still at school, and that was absolutely my role model. And for instance, he was the history teacher. So if it was about war, he would literally come in with just the jacket of an army uniform, and he would peep around the entrance of the classroom, the door, and he would come in and say, "Everyone, are you safe? Are you safe? I want you to go down under your desks now." Now we were used to that, and it wasn't chaos, and we would go. It's that willing suspension of disbelief, and we are all under the desks. And he would tell the story of what is happening, and we would experience. And the old CD player would go, or I'm very old, the cassette player would go, and the sounds of bombs. We were there. I still remember my history of high school and even primary because of the embodiment that Amy spoke about. So thanks for that, Angelique. Anyone else who has an idea that you use for stimulus, where you get the creative juices going? I think, Olive, do you want to take it from and just guide us?
Hi, Anina. I'm just quickly looking at the chat, and everyone was just agreeing with Angelique now, just saying, yes, when you participate with the learners, it makes it so much more engaging.
Absolutely.
And I also just want to add that sometimes just greeting the learners differently, it is everything they need to just, it brings about a different kind of stimulation and lesson. So even for me with music, the tempo gives a very good feel of what kind of lesson it's going to be, if it's going to be a calm lesson and reflective,
Yes.
or are we going to go crazy, and then the music is like absolutely pumping, so you warn the staff beforehand, or is it quite a relaxed lesson, or learners get to choose how to greet in the lesson, and then they start the warm-up because they've thought about it. So it also just gives them a bit of agency. So let them choose the warm-up. Obviously you help and you vet it, but the kids can also just come and know, you guys, group 3, you are in charge of warm-ups next week. Come with something fun.
Beautiful. And with that, I want to, before we go into, thanks for speaking about warm-ups, because we're going to do that now. I want to say that your warm-up should always kind of link with the content of your lesson. So if you are going to do work on script, I see there's lots of high school teachers also going up into FET. You're going to obviously work more on vocal work, but it can be exciting work. You can create beatboxes, and it doesn't just have to be boring articulation exercises, which I'm going to do with you next week. And it must link with the theme. So yes, thank you very much for that. And before we go on, I just want to say planning is everything. So if you know that your drama, your playmaking is going to be about, as the CAPS says, a social or cultural issue or a sporting event where you are going to use that as stimulus for drama, that is your stimulus that you've got to develop right from the start. So you're going to play music or videos or images. You cannot say to a child, just create a drama. That cannot be. Okay, so I think I have now spoken enough. I quickly want to show another video for you. And I want you now this time I would like you to do it with the facilitator. The facilitator is Yvette Hardy from Acetej, who we have in the Western Cape work a lot with and created many years ago these videos of all the aspects of drama. And colleagues, those of you who might not have it, I will definitely share it with our beautiful Limina colleagues, and they will share it on the WhatsApp group. It's videos about literally most of the aspects, and this is one of it. You might have seen this. It has been doing the rounds. So I'm just going to play. I actually want to spend I'm going to play about 4 minutes of this. And I want you to, if you can, stand up and follow what is happening here. Now, I'm doing this as a teaching tool for you as a teacher. As Oliver said in the previous session, working with video, and she used that beautiful methodology to explore what is going on in a video. We don't just show a video to learners and say, okay, now you do it. So it's important that this is a teaching tool for teachers so that they can get ideas for warm-ups. Lots of it will be familiar to you. I'm just showing you the first part. It's a long video. There's a lot in. But to take that and to go and do it with the class. Yes, you can sometimes show the video and say, let's all follow there, but have a moment where you stop and there is reflection on it. So I'm quickly going to play a little bit. I know it says grade 4 to 6, but this is absolutely valid also for grade 7, 8, and 9. It's universal warm-ups. And Olive, again, you can just on our WhatsApp, just let me know if the sound.
Warming up the body is vital. It not only prevents injury, but it also develops physical awareness, coordination, and strength. It mobilizes muscles and joints in a safe way, releasing unnecessary tensions and preparing the body for more complex tasks. A warm-up should happen at the beginning of a practical class, particularly when the class demands physical exertion. Okay, we're going to now do This warm-up uses each part of the body in succession to rid the body of tension and prepare the muscles for more complex tasks. Let's imagine that you're playing the piano.
I would like you to do this with Yvette. So use your hands now.
And shake the water off them. And on the other side, shake the water off. And both together now. Shake, 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 shake.
Olive, this is yours. Fingers.
And now tell somebody, come over here. Come, come, come. Come this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Come, 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 come to me. Come, come, come. Oh no, go away, go away, go away. That way, that way. Oh no, that way, that way. Oh no, this way. Right. Oh no, both ways. We're terribly confused. Okay, and now let's find all sorts of curling movements with our fingers. Let's try curling each finger out and in. And now start to make some different shapes with your fingers. Don't know if you've seen Indian dancers. Can you get those fingers very active? And little stars. And put them above your head and behind you and in front of you and down and up. Okay, good. And come back to neutral. And just with your feet underneath your hips and just swing one arm. Swing it gently. And feel the weight of that arm. Swing it a little bit more. And at some point, you're going to feel like it wants to go over. And you decide when that is. And you can change the direction of the swing. Doesn't always have to swing in one direction. Just feel the weight of the arm. Feel how loose it needs to be in the shoulder socket for that movement to happen. Okay, and release it. Okay, just swing gently from side to side. And just notice for a moment, do you feel how this arm is warmer than this arm, than the one you haven't been using? Do you feel that? It's all nice and tingly. Let's start on this side. Gently, just swinging, forwards and back, forwards and back. And now let's take the shoulders up to the ears. Push them right up to the ears. Push, push, push. And release with a little breath. And again, push them up. And release with a little breath.
There we go. And I'm going to stop it there. Obviously, this is much longer, and I wish we could just do this, colleagues. I think we need the relaxation. So, looking at this video, which I'm going to share with you, I'm going to ask you to go through it and to look at your own practice. And obviously, you are going to say, oh, but I do that, and I actually add that, and I like to do it a little differently. But it's always good to look at how other people do it. So, have a look at that. And make sure that that is always built into your classes. You will not spend 15 minutes of your precious time to just do warm up. So you'll do little bits of this. And what I find is that children need to understand that the arts is are very ritualistic. So especially in dance and drama, they learn that there's a certain code of conduct. We always start with a warm up. And even if teacher must quickly go to principal's office, there will be someone in the class, and this is how you set your class up at the beginning of next year, that someone will always start the warm-up. And you teach these warm-ups as little rituals, and they will know today we're going to look at the shoulders and the arms and the fingers, like Yvette has done here. We might look at the legs. You might want to do one period just warm-ups where you really establish the rhythm and the whole way of doing it so that you can break it down and that children know we always start with a warm-up. I particularly played this little clip because we often look at the whole body, but we never start with the fingers and the small parts of the body. And it's very important that we have to know that the whole body is an instrument of expression. The whole body, even the fingers, even the toes, all of our body parts communicate what we need to communicate on stage. And it's so important that you teach the children the minute they are performing, that body, every single bit is an instrument that expresses and shows the emotion. So just that to focus on that warm-up. I'm not going to now spend more time on the warm-up. I wanted to quickly do a little activity, but I'm not going to do the reflection. I can do that next time because I see our time is a little bit, I see we are going for 10 to 5, and I really want to do quite a bit of other things. But I quickly want to stop with elements of drama. Now, for many years, I have tried different ways to ensure that my kids understand the elements of drama, and I always got back to the W questions, especially when we either analyze a play or when we create a play. And I find that it really is the easiest way to brainstorm. So I would use huge sheets of paper or the children's workbooks. Now, we try to make sure that there's a learner book. You can call it a learner portfolio. We prefer to, in the Western Cape colleagues, to use a book. You know, it could be a nature study book. It could be a book without any lines in, but a book. And in that book, the child will write, you know, for drama, for music, for dance, depending on the art forms. And that is always evidence of the process. So I spoke right at the beginning about the stimulus that I would give. I'm going to give an example. We can make a drama about love, all kinds of love. We had the beautiful stimulus, the curiosity going. There were songs about love, stories about love, pictures about love, quotes about love. We talk about different types of love, and now we must create that story. It's difficult. Now, where do we start? So I have found, you know, the old brainstorming of who, what, where, when, and why. So who would always take you to? Character. So character is one of your elements of drama that, you know, you can spend a term on character. And then what is the story? That's a whole storyline which you are going to beautifully explore in this coming week, you know, with the whole going up into the crisis and the climax, and as I said, the denouement. Where does it take place? Colleagues, and I would like you not ever to underestimate the element of space and place. Space, our fictional space, and the place where it takes place, but it could also be your performance space. Where am I going to perform this? Are we going to perform this on the stairs outside the library? Because it's site-specific drama. Or are we going to perform it in a teeny-weeny little space that we have in class, or on the carpet, or on stage? Where does it take place is such a big question, because it determines also how I use my voice and my body. If it's a huge, big space, then we start to talk about projection and bigger gestures and so on. If it's small and intimate, where does it take place? How do I show space through my body? If I'm in a cave, how do I use my movement to show? If I'm in an elevator, if I'm on the rugby field, when, of course, I'll talk about that now, and why, what's the purpose, and why and to whom is often married, because the purpose and to whom is always together. What is, do I want to educate little children about safety, road safety? The grade 7s want to do a play about road safety that they are going to perform, Angelique, to the foundation phase. Now, Angelique, you're best suited for something like that because you were a foundation phase teacher, you're teaching intermediate phase. Nothing stops you to say, grade 6s, we are going to do a play for the babies, for the grade 1s, and that's my purpose for education. High school learners, you might want to protest about something. What is the purpose to protest about? You might have teachers on their cell phones. Sorry, I'm just taking some water. I want to create protest theater about that. And who's my audience? So to whom and why is a very important question. Excuse me. And that goes into the workbooks. I think our time is nearly up, and it's interesting that we end with the whole element of time that I see is a little bit chopped off here. I just quickly want to go back. But the first one is chronological time. I just quickly want to talk about that. And I want you to challenge your children when they create plays to talk about time. So the first one is chronological time. You know, the story happens beginning, middle, and end. The one thing, cause and effect, the one aspect, lead, it, you know, it's chronological. Very important that our high school learners know the word chronological use of time. And we always integrate our practical and our theory. So it's a beautiful question in the question paper to say, at the end of the year, senior phase and FET, in the play you created, what kind of use of time did you apply? Did you use chronological time? Did you have flashbacks? Often when you have a narrator in your story, you will have where the storyteller comes up and he says, 5 years ago, and there's something, you know, they found a cure and now it's 5 years later, or they found a treasure and whatever. Flashbacks, or a circular, which I love, where the drama ends where it began, or our FET teachers where we look at episodic, you know, where we break down into episodes with a narrator in between. We have the alienation technique so that it is educational. You can even have that. But that is a beautiful way to show you how theory and practical work are integrated, and all of that goes into the workbook. So I think I need to end here, and I've got such a lot more that I still wanted to do practical work where you would be doing, and I will be speaking far less, which we'll do next week then. But I want to end with this, that colleagues, if I go back, your elements of drama that must be in the books. You don't write a dialogue in drama in class. You have an hour a week in senior phase. In intermediate phase, you integrate with the other art forms. There's no time to write a dialogue. You can do that as a homework or as part of languages. You just do the brainstorming and the rest is improvised. And then where you can talk about your time, your use of time, and they have to write about that in their book, but they perform that. So children are always on their feet performing. I want to stop now I'm going to stop share so that I can see you, and I just want to hear any comments. Now I can look at our comments and I can hear if there's anything that our time is nearly up that you want to say, that you want to comment on or add anything. I'm just looking at what people are saying. We have bridging meetings stating academics, emotional, and other important information. Yes. I'm the only drama teacher, says, who is this? Clarine. And so you know where your learners are going. That's fantastic, but you are working very, very hard. I see Inga Sigiri, oh, beautiful name. Also the same. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so anyone else who would like to just mention anything about any of the drama aspects that I have mentioned, your use of drama elements before we say goodbye, or even how you integrate your theory and your practical. Is there anyone who would just like to add anything? Hands up, you can quickly speak about that. I just want to leave you by saying what is very important is that drama is a practical subject. And it's not a theoretical sitting down, writing dialogues. It's improvisational, it's on our feet, it's performing. Anyone who would like to just add anything on that?
Hi, I just wanted to say that my kids enjoyed not only the preparing and working together to create a short play, but they really enjoyed being able to create their own props and costumes with recyclables. And they were able to do it in their groups. And as the groups were able to make their own, they would talk to each other about, but we can use this as something as a prop in one of the scenes. So it was a wonderful way to, as an icebreaker, to get the kids to kind of group together and to share ideas, the making of the things that you are going to be using on stage.
Oh, absolutely. And that whole problem solving, and that's critical thinking, isn't it, Amy?
Yes, definitely. They have to decide on how are they going to use a box to make a crown, or how are they going to reattach the plastic bags or the green checkers bags, etc., together to make a t-shirt or a skirt or anything like that. So definitely lots of problem solving, lots of communication, working together as a group, teamwork. So definitely.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Any other comments before we say goodbye? I can't believe the time has flown by, and I still really want to sit around a table having coffee with you, having this discussion late into the night. Any other comments? It sounds to me that I think we have, yeah.
Hi, Anina.
Oh, hello. Is it Clarine or is that right, how I say your name?
Clarine.
Oh, it's
Clarine.
prachtig. Love it. Wat sê jy,
Ja.
Clarine?
Kan ek Afrikaans praat?
Yes, I will translate, certainly.
Okay, no, then it's fine.
Okay. Okay.
I would like to say that drama doesn't, it's not only helping the learners with their verbal communication, but also non-verbal. There's one learner in grade 9. I'm teaching all the 8s and all the 9s. So there's one learner in grade 9. She doesn't speak at all. She doesn't even speak in Afrikaans or English. So the learners told me, no, ma'am, but you teach us non-verbal communication. So she's going to do the role with the non-verbal communication. So then that child, she also participate in the drama, but then she just told them that she's going to be they must be the bully, and she's gonna be the child is gonna be bullied. But the way she do the non-verbal communication with them was really something good, and she wasn't shy at all, but she didn't speak, but the facial expressions and the body language and everything was on point. So sometimes drama just doesn't just help us with the verbal communication, but also non-verbal. And
Oh,
then
that's a good point.
what I wanted to add is because I have a lot of classes, after second interval, my voice can be a little
I'm
tiring.
sure.
So what
Yeah.
I will do is I will try to think of games like the energy ball. So that not only the learners get energy, but me also. So that
Oh,
helps a lot.
Lorene, I love what you are saying. Oh, come to my house and let's have coffee and talk more. It's beautiful. It's absolutely, I love this subject. So I love drama so much. And when you say what I've just said, the whole thing about nonverbal communication, and that you can use games in all kinds of ways, it is absolutely, absolutely true. Okay, I see there's a comment here I just want to quickly get to my comments now. How did I get now out of my chats? Here it is. I understand that drama is mostly practical. Please can I have ideas on how to cover the theory since the learner books are checked and also checked and they have to write exams. Yes, yes, yes. All in very limited time. Mtandazu, Mabuto, I'm so with you, my darling. So I know we're over time. Sorry, Limina, colleagues, dearest colleagues, we're just going to speak for one more minute and I will address this next week. That is such a good point. Now, the first thing is your methodology is practical, but your theory is integrated. So, for instance, where you explore those drama elements, they've got to write it down, and you are going to share notes with them about what is character, what is the use of time, what is that. So, they get theory from you, but they live it. Like Amy said, they embody it, they do it. They have notes, for instance, when you do, you looked at vocal techniques for this week, like pitch and pace and pause and all those things. They get those notes. That's theory. But they do it and they write in their books also how did they use pause and pitch and pace. I'm now talking about using scripts or the elements. But here is the thing, Mtandazo. How is your paper set? Your paper is not one where you are going to say, name the 5 drama elements. Your paper is very reflecting. It will be during the term, you have explored creating a play based on love. Describe how you used the element of time. Refer to the way you use time. Then it would be, this is our senior phase. Yes, we used chronological time or episodic time, depending on what you teach. Remember, you may not assess what you did not teach. How did you use the element of space? Was it a big open space? And how did you use your voice to show that? So you give them a piece of poetry, a poem, and say, in line 5, what is the emotion that that character is experiencing? What vocal technique would you use? So I would speak louder, I would use projection, or I would use a higher vocal tone. Those are the answers. So it's very practical, Mtandazo. Your question paper, it's very much based on experience in the class. That's why that workbook is important, because that's actually how the child will prepare. The child will look at what they have done in class, because teacher is going to ask me about my performance. And often there's a rubric in the exam paper. So you are always welcome to contact me because I can engage with you. We're not talking about exam papers in this session, but we have a lot of stuff about exams and theory because that's interrelated, but your theory comes out of your practical. And I think I will have to stop now because we are 5 minutes over time. I hope your husbands, all the wives, made supper and all the husbands, your wives made supper. Everyone who's here on this group, and you don't have to go and make supper now. Or I just hope you are going to have a beautiful evening. I know there are people from across South Africa in this group. In the Western Cape, it is the most beautiful late afternoon with the sun still shining, no wind, can you believe it? And I hear birds, it's closing, it's the best time of the day. We just becoming a little calmer. Yes, we might have work for tonight, but just for a moment, I would like you to take a deep breath in with me. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and let's go. and hold it, and breathe out. Just want to close your eyes again and breathe in for me. Hold it, and breathe out. Okay, and I would like you to have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Next week, we are going to start with a little bit of vocal work and a little bit of more relaxation, and then we are going to talk about dramatic tension. I hope you have a super wonderful evening. I'm signing off and out now, and cannot wait to talk to you again next week. Love, love, love being with you this afternoon, and thank you to our wonderful Limina colleagues for supporting us. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Anina. That was a wonderful presentation, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We hope to see you next week.
Thank you, Cherise. All the best to you guys as well.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Thanks, Anina. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Olive, for being my wing
Thanks. It's
woman.
wonderful. Wonderful. It was wonderful. Thank you so
No, I don't do
much.
anything without you these days. I'm getting old, Olive. So I'm afraid you'll be my wing woman always.
Have a nice evening, Anina. Thanks, Limina
You too.
team.
Enjoy the kids. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.